The email was not about Benghazi, as you said yesterday and you say again today. Why did the White House turn it over to a conservative group seeking information about Benghazi?
You would have to ask the State Department about how they responded to FOIA requests. I would, again, point you to the fact that, I mean, all you have to do is read it, Ed, right? Top line points, goals, that kind of stuff. The only mention of Benghazi in the email is a question about what's your response to a story by the Independent newspaper in the UK that says we had intelligence 48 hours in advance of the attack that was ignored. Not aware of any actionable intelligence was the answer. And then what does it do? It cuts and pastes the same line from the CIA talking points that, again, was what Ambassador Rice used.
So if it's not about Benghazi, why turn it over in a Benghazi suit? It seems...
You would have to ask State Department about their process for responding to FOIA requests. Again, you can just read it and then decide for yourself. As many people have now said and written, like, this is a conspiracy in theory in search of a conspiracy.
The conservative group comes in and says, we want Benghazi documents. The administration says, this is not a Benghazi document, so we're not turning it over, right?
Again, I don't, like, this is a State Department FOIA request response. Yeah, but again, whether it was released Monday or a week ago Monday or whatever, it doesn't change the fundamental facts about the so-called talking points, which, despite great efforts by your news organization and others, have been, proven not to be a conspiracy. Mike Morrell, the deputy director of the CIA, served at the CIA for decades under administrations of both parties. Said that he felt no political influence when he was directing the composition of those points, and it was based on what he believed was the best analysis of what happened at the time. And in the very first sentence of those points, it said currently available information in a situation which, by the way, was incredibly murky and chaotic, halfway around the world, not in a capital, but in a regional city at a diplomatic facility. So,
putting aside Republican Darrell Issa, retired Brigadier General Robert Lovell testified today. He was at Africon. I have no idea if he's a Democrat, Republican, Independent. Testified under oath that by 3:15 a.m. after the 9/11/2012 attack, they dismissed the video and very quickly identified this as a terror attack. By 3:15 a.m., he testifies under oath. In light of that, why on 9/14, 2.5 days later, was Ben Rhodes writing an email about the general state of affairs, as you say, highlighting the video and not highlighting terror?
Ed, the email was about protests around the region. If you want to tell me today that the protests and again,
a lot of places, but Benghazi was part of it, right?
Right, and I would refer you to the CIA-produced talking points on that referred at the time to currently available information suggesting that there were protests outside of the facility in Benghazi inspired by demonstrations outside of Cairo. What inspired those demonstrations outside of our embassy in Cairo? Do you even remember?
There was Cairo. I don't remember specifically. There was a.
Does anybody remember? Can we do a little call and response?
They were trying to get the blind sheikh out of jail, and then to get more people in, they started talking about it in certain video.
Okay. I think there was a lot of tumult in the region. Daily Caller's been heard from, but backing you up, Ed. But
that was your call.
But I think it's fair to say that most people remember that there were demonstrations around the region, right, Scott? I mean, that were in reaction to what people felt was an offensive video, and there were demonstrations outside of U.S. facilities because the video was produced in the United States. So again. That's what, it's pretty clear if you read it that that's what it's about. When it comes to the connection between the protests in Cairo and what happened in Benghazi, that's drawn directly from talking points produced by the intelligence community, as testified to by the deputy director of the CIA on multiple occasions.
To your point earlier about you were working in the immediate aftermath of the terror attack with the current information that was available. On 9/12, you were asked about Benghazi and whether it was premeditated. And you said, quote, "It's too early for us to make that judgment. I know that this is being investigated. We're working with the Libyan government to investigate the incident." So you were being cautious. You're saying there's an investigation here. That's 9/12. Why then on 9/14 is Ben Rhodes writing an email that is making judgments that this was inspired by a video. Why is it not? Hey, we just don't know. We're investigating it.
Do you need a copy of the CIA talking
I've
points?
seen them.
I can
You
get
can read them
to
out
you.
all you want. Go ahead.
The only thing in that email that refers to Benghazi is a cut and paste from the talking points, which, much to your disappointment and your boss's disappointment, turned out to be produced by the CIA. Whatever information in there that turned out not to be accurate has been addressed multiple times by folks at the CIA and elsewhere. It's a human enterprise, intelligence gathering and analysis. Those men and women who serve in the intelligence community do so in service of their nation, and they do the best job they can every day. And what they produced was what they thought they knew at the time in a very difficult and murky situation. And by the way, separate from the connection between the video and what happened at the attack, in Benghazi, a lot of what those points said turned out to be true, right? But it was based on currently available information. And as you can imagine, in the days after an attack in a regional city in a faraway country, that information was not complete, which is what we said repeatedly.